Now let me welcome on to another edition of Courting Cinderella. Kyle Keller, head coach at Stephen F. Austin. We're going to be breaking down the Grand Canyon Antelopes, the champion of the Western Athletic Conference, the WAC. Kyle, let me start you off with this. Bryce Drew's team is a top 60 offense in college basketball this year. What makes them difficult to guard, and what do they do well?
Well, Rob, that's a great question. I think his defense is underrated, though. First of all, let me say that I think they're really tough defensively. I think what makes them tough to guard is they can score a lot of different ways. I mean, they got a guy, Ray Harrison. This is going to sound crazy, at the guard position, who was the two before the best player, preseason player of the year, probably Javon Blackshear tore his ACL early in January. And Bryce kind of changed the way he played, to his credit. I mean, really great coaching job by him this year. And Harrison's a 6'4" guard who is a free throw maker. And what I mean by that is that he has an unbelievable ability to draw fouls. And I think that's what really could cause people in the tournament a hard time, because he can allow with extensive halftimes and timeouts in the NCAA tournament. As you know, you can play your best players longer. And so for a mid-major, you don't have to get into your bench as much, and you can play your best players longer. And when you can shoot free throws as well, that really shortens the game. And so they're a team that can get to the free throw line because of him, in my opinion.
Well, it's not surprising at all to me that the head coach at Stephen F. Austin is the one out here hyping up a team's defense. You are a defensive-minded guy. Let's talk about that end of the floor. When you step up that level and you go from they're probably going to end up being like a 14, 15 seed, somewhere around there. You're going to be playing against a top 10 team. How are they going to translate on that end? Length, athleticism is going to be a little bit different. How do you see them adjusting to that kind of talent?
Well, they start a center who started at Nebraska, so a Power 5 center, and then they start 6'4", 6'5" guards. So they have length, and then they're 4-man 6'8", 6'9". They have the length to play at the high level, and I think the one thing that maybe could give them some issues is maybe some quickness on the perimeter. But I think they do play pretty good. Like I said, I think they do play pretty good perimeter defense. Because I think they have some grit and grime about them, and I do think that they have some toughness about them. But I think, like with anything, I mean, when you get to that level, it comes to some strength and some size, and then as their quickness can match up with a Power 5, a high level NBA type player. And talking to NBA scouts when we were out in Vegas, I told everybody I thought Harrison had a chance. Their point guard maybe play in the NBA, and then in the championship game last night, he made some threes. That's a knock on him because he has NBA size about him. And I think that's the challenge, right? When you make it from a mid-major playing to a high major team at that level, do you have the ability to match up with size and length at that size?
Hey guys, just a reminder, our sponsor for today's episode is Run Your Pool. They are hosting the Field of 68 Bracket Challenge. This year, they are giving away $1,500 in free prizes. It's all an incentive for you to get on there and find out just how good their platform is. I've been using them for my bracket pools for years. I've used them for Super Bowl squares. I use them for everything that I need to use them for. The biggest survivor pool that I'm in for both NFL and NCAA tournament is by Run Your Pool. So go check them out. The link's below. Tap in. So Ray Harrison's their star. Who are some of the role players that we need to know? Who's the guy that could end up being an X factor? Yeah. The guy that comes to mind, everybody from last year, Doug Eater at St. Peter's. Who's a guy someone that can kind of maybe be a star, a darling of March Madness from this?
Yeah, group? From our league last year, it was Allen and Jabari Rice, who's at Texas now, that was able to win a game, beat UConn, and fight to, and almost beat Arkansas, to go to the Sweet 16. Like on this team, they need Gabe McLaughlin to play really well. They had Knox make 6 threes last night or whatever it was. They got a kid who's made over 250 threes at the 4 spot. McLaughlin, I mean, not McLaughlin, but Bauman at the 4, who can really stretch it, and the 3-point line obviously is makes the game an equalizer. And if they shoot the ball really well, they're going to have a chance. And Bryce is obviously, he's not going to be overwhelmed. I mean, he's coaching the SEC. He knows what it takes to compete at that level, and he's not going to get out X and O in the NCAA tournament. Their team, I think, unfortunately, has just won 4 games in 5 days. Can they recover mentally and emotionally to play if they play on Thursday again? To be, they're going to be excited, but can they recover to win a game or two, whatever the case may be, again, to rev it back up and to not just be happy to be in the NCAA tournament? Because I think when you get to that level and win games in the NCAA tournament, are you just satisfied from being there, or do you want to keep on winning? And that's the challenge, I think, for all of us at this level.
The WAC has a reputation for pulling off upsets in March Madness. We will see if Grand Canyon is the next on that list. Kyle Keller, appreciate you being here. This is Courting Cinderella.